I've got a lovely bunch of coconuts. Sorry about that. Hey, so Apple didn't choose Google, to be honest, that's just who was left. So we know Siri's been a running joke for years. It is slow, it is dumb, and it is the worst modern AI that this world has ever seen. Now, Apple keeps promising that they're going to rebuild it, but they just keep delaying it. Meanwhile, everyone else, ChatGPT, Gemini, they're all lapping it by miles. So let's play a game. Welcome to Apple's Got Talent, but no one wants to work for them. I'm your host, Zach. Let's meet our contestants. So we have contestant number one, OpenAI, and let's see what we have to say about them. We know them from ChatGPT. That is single-handedly the app that made Siri cry herself to sleep every single night. Apple slides into the DMs, checkbook in hand, and OpenAI says, and this is the best part, no. Alright? Apparently they're busy building their own phone. They don't want to be the new Siri. They want to be Apple. Eliminated. And then we have contestant number two, Anthropic. What do we have to say about them? Smaller, scrappier, but Claude is legit. We know this. So, everyone's interested. Apple's interested, Anthropic's interested. Now we gotta make sure the money's right. So, that's what happens. Anthropic slides over the contract. And then Anthropic asks for several $billion. A year, actually. That's insane. So Apple looked at that number, they literally started crying, they started laughing, and then they showed the door to Anthropic. Eliminated. Which brings us to contestant number three, the final contestant, Google. Here's what we have to say about them. Apple's oldest rival. We know this. They have been in court for decades, suing each other left and right and left and right. Alright? So, obviously, Google is the company that makes the other phone. We don't like them secretly. So Apple looks to the left, looks to the right, looks at Google, and says, fine, you got a deal. You're hired. And that concludes our contestants. Now, Apple's whole brand is privacy and control. They say, we don't need anybody. We got it ourselves. But I think it's time that they reach out to other companies to help them grow. If this is a spot they're struggling with, maybe it's time that they stick a hand out and say, Google, save me, I'm drowning, I can't create my own AI. Apple and Google have been in legal battles for years. And I mean years, like decades. They have been in the courts battling it out because Apple's unhappy with Google and Google is unhappy with Apple. But here we are, Apple reaching out a hand and saying, hey, I need some help. We're screwed and no one likes Siri. No one uses Siri. She sucks. She's dumb. But with this agreement, Google will literally be doing Siri's thinking for her. If you ask a question to Siri, you're going to get the response that Gemini would give you, which is pretty cool. Still not as good as like Claude or ChatGPT, but it's millions of a time better than Siri. So let's think about it this way. Imagine if you bought yourself a brand new pair of Nikes. I'm talking some mids, got the nice navy on it. Cool, you got yourself a new pair. You buy them, get them home. You open up the box, and on the inside it says, made by Nike. Soles are made by Adidas. That's exactly what it's going to be. You have the main brand, the biggest brand, Apple, the most valuable company. But underneath of it, there's going to be Google Gemini running its AI. That's interesting. Now let's take a look at this live test that I did. I asked both Siri and Gemini the same question just to see what the response would be. So I asked Siri, I said, what makes you so bad? And the response was, I'm good. What? That wasn't what I asked. That's not at all what I asked. But then I asked Gemini the same question. what makes Siri so bad. And it gave me this laundry list worth of things why there's been a problem with Siri for decades. Now, obviously, it's probably just hating on it, which is fine. I'd hate on it too, no matter where I am. I could be an Android person and hate on it, be the most advocate for Apple and hate on it. I bet you Tim Cook himself says, Siri, you are garbage. But here we are. My take on all this. I think Apple was finally admitting that it lost its AI work. I think it finally admitted. I think it's done. It realized there's nothing it can do. They are so far behind that even if they created the most powerful AI, no one would use it. No one would, especially when you have more reputable companies out there for AI that can give you answers immediately, or like Claude, give you the most in-depth answer than what you're looking for, but is super helpful. So, Apple got rejected by OpenAI and Anthropic before landing with Google. Would that change anything about how you feel about the new Siri?